Russia continues to strike peaceful Ukrainian cities. Meanwhile, Putin's Sokol commented on the so-called peace plan. Trump continues to support Witkoff's actions despite the leaked publications by Bloomberg. My name is Albina Pidhirnyak. The main news is next. Another terrorist attack on Zaporizhzhia. Russia carried out a massive strike damaging 7 apartment buildings. In the Telegram post, rescue showed the aftermath of the horrific strike on the city of Zaporizhzhia. As a result of the attack, 18 people were injured and 10 people were rescued.
I'm going. There is no one there. No one lives in the house.
Because of this, I'm back and forth. It will be in the morning. Well, they say it will be in the morning, and then I will come. I am 35 years old. I am 90. So how old was I when the war began? How am I 35 years old? I was 6 years old. I remember everything how we lived. This is the same. The barracks were near Pushkin Park. And we, the same thing, were trenches dug. And when we had newspapers like this, for the same thing, because planes were already flying.
If God has already decreed that we are not alive today, then let's live at home.
Bloomberg published a transcription of the conversation between U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Putin's advisor Yuri Ushakov about preparing a U.S. peace plan. The world expected a strong reaction from Trump after this leak. Instead, Trump said that Witkoff will soon meet with Putin and that Witkoff supposedly did the right thing because he was negotiating. This sounds and looks like some kind of distorted reality at the top of the most powerful country in the world.
This audio that Bloomberg has of Witkoff coaching the Russians on how to appeal to you?
Well, I haven't heard it, no, but that's a standard thing, you know, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine, he's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does. You got to say, look, they want this, you got to convince them with this. You know, that's a very standard form of negotiation. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation. And I would imagine he's saying the same thing to Ukraine, because each party has to give and take.
So you're worried that he's too pro-Russian?
No, I think, look, this war could go on for years, and Russia's got a lot more people, got a lot more soldiers, you know. So I think if Ukraine can make a deal, it's a good thing. I think it's great for both. Frankly, I think it's great for both. But Ukraine's got it's a much smaller group of people. They've lost a lot of people. Russia's lost a lot of people, but Russia has a much bigger pool of people.
Russia rejected Trump's proposals completely. Deputy Foreign Minister Ryabko made a new statement.
We welcome the efforts of the Trump administration to find reasonable solutions. Different versions of this plan are a negotiation moment. There can be no question of any concessions or any surrender of our approaches to those key points in solving the tasks facing us, including in the context of the NWO. I emphasize that the different elements of anchorage, they themselves represent compromise solutions. The President of the Russian Federation also spoke about this. This is the basis by which we will check when we study and continue discussing the version that is now on the table or will be on the table. But this is a question of diplomatic and political technique, and not an issue that can be discussed online, because two serious things are now in the focus of attention.
Putin met with Lukashenko in Bishkek. There he insisted that he and Lukashenko are in the same boat. He also reminded everyone that Lukashenko took part in Putin's bloody war from the very beginning.
If I inform you about what is happening in our country in the direction of achieving results acceptable to us, the results we are looking for by peaceful means in the Ukrainian direction. I know that you are always aware, you are always worried about this, and you are also one of those people who want this conflict to end. We remember your contribution to the settlement of this conflict. Moreover, let me remind you that literally from the first days, all the efforts that were made in Belarus in this area had good results. And our first contacts on this issue with the Kiev regime, it took place on Belarusian soil with your direct participation and support. Of course, I will be happy to inform you about this as well.
Well, if you have a desire to return to Minsk again, it will be appropriate. You know, we are always ready. As for Ukraine, we are often reproached, you know, we are engaged in dialogues with Westerners and Americans. When they start talking about it, I ask them a question. Didn't you know that we are not just relatives, we have legally justified actions, we are allies. Therefore, even the Americans, we must give them their due, never raise this issue. Never. Once chopped off, that's it, it's out of the big brackets, and there should be no conversations here. Well, I hope that everything will still be fine, based on recent events. If the Americans behave carefully, I will say publicly what I told them, they will understand that this is not an easy issue and requires difficult decisions. Therefore,
it seems to me that there is such an understanding.
Putin's ally Ushakov said in an interview with propagandist Zarubin that the Russians were surprised to see Drizkov of the US side. Ushakov also claimed that in Abu Dhabi they didn't talk about a peace plan but only discussed details of returning prisoners of war.
Now, as you know, everybody is either in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. In general, all the audience is there. Only you and I are here in Bishkek, and we feel good. And all the audience, both respectable and not very respectable, are there. And among this audience there were representatives who were doing serious work. These are representatives, of the special services of Ukraine and Russia. They periodically meet and discuss very sensitive, I would say, issues, including those related to the exchange of prisoners. Here, and as if in the course of the meeting, there was a piano in the bushes. This is the new representative of the United States, who is now dealing with the Ukrainian dossier. He also appeared there and, as I understand it, had a meeting with Ukrainian representatives. Probably, this was agreed in advance, and I also met with our representatives quite unexpectedly. That's what happened there in this great city of Abu Dhabi.
On our part, is it Narishkin?
No, on our part, it is not Narishkin, but representatives of the relevant services of a lower level, but who deal with practical issues, as you said, very complex, scrupulous, and so on.
Yes. Following these talks in Abu Dhabi, will we be able to have any idea of this so-called peace plan?
No, a peace plan was not discussed in Abu Dhabi. The peace plan has not yet been discussed in detail with anyone. We saw it, it was given to us, but there was no discussion yet.
Did you transmit it through unofficial channels, the minister said?
According to unofficial ones, yes.
That is, officially we still do not have any paper?
Well, yes, officially no, but the paper is there. It has not yet been discussed with anyone, because, the plan requires a really serious analysis, a serious discussion. But some points can be looked at preliminarily, but many things require a special discussion between experts.
Thank you for watching this video. Support Ukraine, help Ukraine, glory to Ukraine. See you next time.